Tuesday, we were still able to, blame it on blame it on a nice little birthday beverage.
Right, right, right.
But we've been sleepy since Tuesday, like literally lethargic, walking around the building like what is this? So we have been tired. So I think it's just time for another break. Spring break, something. Time for another break.
And you know what's bad? We just had one.
We just had one.
We just had one. But you know what? I'm good for another week off. I ain't tripping.
Man, people don't understand. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think educators are just the dopest people in the world. I'm not even gonna lie. And I love being at work with the kids. I love being a teacher. But no, I I love the weekends. I love when I can have a day or two away and I don't have to hear my name called constantly. I love it, but I love them too.
Right.
Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the thing. Anybody who know me know I love my babies. They love me back. Yeah. I mean, I'm a dope teacher, but I have dope kids. So this is not a one-sided relationship. When I fuss, they listen. And even like when I fuss, my voice, like I'm not a yeller. I don't scream. I don't yell at young people. I think that's just when you lose a level of control. I don't do that. But when I,
It'd
but
be
if
like
I,
that.
but if I say like, you all doing too much. They tell me my quiet, firm voice is scary to them, and that's hilarious. I have never heard of that in my life.
Well, you know why, right? This generation doesn't have a Claire Huxtable.
True, true.
Right.
They have good grief. I mean, but also this generation, their their relationship goes. Who is it? Christian and Blueface. So
Oh
this
God.
is
So somebody should
exactly.
be missing the front tooth.
Oh my gosh. I mean, at one point that was a beautiful girl. Like, how are you just missing a whole dang tooth? And all
Literally,
the
and she missing a front at that.
up front. I'm not missing. Now I might, you might pull, and I got a wisdom tooth pulled, and I didn't put a crown or anything back there, but I'm not missing nothing in the front and not getting that fixed. That's just ridiculous.
Facts, man, facts. But
That's
yo,
crazy.
that red light in the corner says that we are live. What's good, people? What's good? What's good? It is Thursday night, 8 something another, and you are locked in with your two-time ATS hottest DJ, the God DJ Agony, also known as Dr. Dope. And this is your favorite show. It's the Dope Show. It's that time of the week, and it's
It's
your
the
favorite
dope
segment of the
show.
Dope Show. It is the planning period
The
with
planning period.
DJ Agony and my soon to be not guest co-host. Because after 3 visits, you got to get stuff yourself. If you say you thirsty, cabinet right there. You hungry?
Exactly.
Fridge over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's funny. I was just telling somebody, I said, yes. I said, pretty soon, I said, pretty soon, contingent on how well this goes. Of course, this is going to be an excellent show because it's the dope show. I says, but pretty soon it's going to be like, yeah, Miss Parker is no longer a guest. This is just, yeah, here you go. Dope
Absolutely
show. Here
right.
she is.
So yeah, your whole guest co-host thing, like you only got really one more week
One
of that.
more time.
Right. But just to let you know, you did set a precedence. Even though the dope show's been running 2 years, the first time ever I have had a back-to-back encore guest.
Awesome. What? I
Yeah.
love it.
I always put it like at least a week in between. I'm like, nah, they seen it last week. They ain't do it again next week. But no, last week it was just a lot of meat left on the bone, man. So it's like shit. I was like, you
Bring
know
it back.
what? We got to do it again. Why not? Why not? I ain't
Run
doing
it
nothing this
back.
week.
Run it back. Let's see.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. So first of all, birthday shouts out to Miss Parker. Her birthday was 15 minutes ago, give or take, more or less.
Right. Happy
How?
birthday to me from Saturday.
Yeah. How was the birthday?
And I got to be honest, there are so many people who have not made it to this place in life. I am so blessed. God has truly, had his hands on me and just, it was chill. It was laid back. It was fun. It was, everything that I could possibly think about a birthday being, it was. So everything from being just super chill to super laid back to super dope to just being a bit unorthodox, whatever. It was just cool. It was just cool. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
Also today, March 9th, you know what I'm saying? That's one of those days known universally in hip hop. It's been 26 years since we lost Biggie. So I switched it up tonight on dope shirts. I wore my Biggie shirt because
I see that.
yeah, we know we lost Biggie 26 years ago. Question. You remember where you was when you got the news?
Whew. Um, I don't remember where I was, but I remember I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at first because it was, just 6 months prior. Who did we lose? We lost Pac.
We lost Tupac, right?
So it was like, okay, somebody's really like playing a joke, especially because at one point there was what we thought as the main as the media we thought it was beef, when all in actuality, I remember Big saying that he approached Pac just about some lyrics that kind of had him a bit shook. Like, hold on, dude, I thought we were working together. I thought we were cool. Then at that point, Pac was like, "Well, listen, you gotta understand that all publicity is good publicity." He said, "So if I'm like kind of ragging on you, then people are chiming in to hear what you're getting ready to say." So he was like, "Nah, baby, it's all love." So at one point, we're thinking that there was actual beef between the two of them when it really, really wasn't. So we had just lost Pac 6 months prior, and then now Big. No, I didn't believe it. I don't remember where I was, but I remember I was like, no, he's not dead. And got home like, what is going on?
Mm.
Because what people don't realize is, and I think I mentioned it last week, we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of hip hop. But what
Mm-hmm.
people don't understand is we grew up with hip hop. That's the only genre of music that is all the way ours. Because if you talk about R&B, blues, anything like that. If you go with some old school, the same old school folks we listen to, our parents do. Hip hop is all ours. That's where we heard, what is that record? Who is this? Or as my daddy used to say, who is Ice Cube, Ice Milk, Ice Water? Like, daddy, really for real? Is what you doing? What you doing? But hip hop was all ours. So as we're looking
You
at
mean in
celebrating,
ours as a generation, right?
exactly,
Okay.
hip hop was ours. So if you are, to me, if you are, I'll say 39 and older, 39 to 50, hip hop was ours. Because it's just been out 50 years.
I just
So
made it. Ah,
right, you just made it. So yeah, so it's ours. So, and again, that's the one genre that we don't share with our parents. Now, some of these youngsters believe they share. No, you don't share with us, bro. Because I mean, that's just like when DMX died. And there was some kids like, oh, I grew up. Like, fool, you ain't grew up with X. You don't even know that DMX is an acronym. Stop it. You didn't grow up with
they be
X.
telling us, yeah, his name is Demix.
Huh?
They be telling us his name Demix. I remember
Right.
him.
Right. My thing, matter of fact, don't even call him DMX. You call him Mr. Earl. Show
Right.
some respect.
Mr. Simmons.
You don't even get to call him X. You ain't lose nothing but your mind if you thinking that we can share X with you. You all
Mm-mm.
listen to hibbity bobbity and all. If I hear another baby, the baby, little baby, short baby, itty bitty baby, big head baby. If I hear one more baby, that's who you all rock with. You leave Dead Man X to us. That was ours.
Mm-hmm.
So going back, but yeah, losing Pac in September, turn around, losing Big in March of the following year. It was just like, what is going on? We are losing our people. They were just, it had made such a major impact in the culture because Tupac was just a brilliant lyricist. But
Period.
then you have Biggie that actually did something that no one had done. And not even, and I'm not a big Jay-Z fan, but no one had ever just gone into the studio and just freestyle off the top of their head. Big was the first. Other
That is
people
true.
had like notes or they were taking cues. Big could literally just get through a whole
Mm.
doggone session and be like, okay, what's next? you know? So, yeah. So, but 26 years ago, absolutely, we lost a legend. We did.
Definitely, definitely. I remember where I was leaving a car show every year in Atlanta. Around the first second weekend of March, they had the car show down at the Congress Center, and we were leaving, and I heard it on the radio leaving, and I was like. I didn't believe it, of course, obviously, like everybody else. And there was no internet to fact check it. There was no social media, so
Right.
you had to hear it on the news. And so after you heard it on the radio, you wait all day till the 6 o'clock news come on, and they kind of confirmed it. It's like, oh well, damn, he really did die.
Yeah, it's like we really lost big. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Biggie song?
Do I have one? I mean, I don't think I have one. I just like big. I don't have one. I can listen to big. It don't matter.
That's what I'm
It
saying.
don't
Like, what would be the go-to song? Like, if you had to just
for
throw one,
me.
mm-hmm, throw one on right now.
Okay, don't snatch my card if this does not fit the DJ Agony. My
Uh-oh.
favorite thing that Big has ever done was with the group Total. How he did their introduction for Can't You Sing?
Oh, give me all the chicken head from Pasadena to Medina.
That's it.
Yes.
I
Hell
I
yeah.
I
That
literally
that
tune
verse
in.
ripped.
I literally tune in and like once he's done, I'm kind of done with the song. But I'll keep I am. But yeah, but like I said, I don't have just one the same way I don't have a favorite Tupac song. See, to me, when it gets
I
to a
do.
place where this is my theory. When
Hmm.
it gets to a place where you have a favorite, this artist is not as dope as they think they are.
Not necessarily. It's always just that one that, like, as a person, that one song that's just gonna hit you
Well, let
like
me,
I'm. It's like like if I hit play on this what's the name right now, I might go to jail tonight.
well,
That
here's the thing. To kind of prove my theory, you can't
mm.
ask me what my favorite Michael Jackson song is. How
See
can I
this.
pick?
I can give you yeah, I can give you a favorite Michael Jackson song.
I can't. I can't pick. The same way I don't have a favorite Isley Brothers song. The
I
same
got
way
one of
I
those.
don't have a favorite Prince song.
I got one of
I
those.
don't have I don't have a favorite because how can I pick? I can literally just pull them up on my Napster, which I pay. I am one of those folks. I pay for my music. I don't steal
Wait,
from
go
the
back.
artist.
You still using Napster?
Yeah.
The original thief of the artist?
Well, all I know is I pay a subscription. So I try not to steal
Yeah,
from
they
the
made Napster an actual paid service now.
okay.
I
Okay.
got Jazz and Nicole in the building.
Hi, Miss Nicole.
What up, Sheldon? And
But yeah,
then we got Tina in the building. Tina said I can't pick
Tina's
a favorite
back.
MJ.
Yes, I can't. Like you
I
that's
really
just
can't. I can't. Here's the reason why I can't. Because, like I said, it just I when I hear a song and it just gives me that feeling, or if it's like something where that song end up on repeat for like a week straight. And I mean, Mike's giving me more than one song like that. But if I had to pick one, yeah, I could actually pick a Michael Jackson song.
I don't. I don't have a favorite Michael Jackson song. I don't have a favorite Earth, Wind and Fire song. I
I got
don't
one of
have
those.
I don't. I don't. Now, if you ask me what my favorite Migos song is, I got you. And I like them.
Fight Night.
I like them. I love them. Definitely RIP to Takeoff. He was just I love Migos, period.
Really?
But yeah, I did. I mean, I don't know why, but I did. I love those three jokers, especially what made me fall in love with them a bit more was of course the infamous show where they were doing the car ride with is it James Corbin?
Hmm. The
Yeah.
what was it, like backseat karaoke or something like that?
Yes.
Uh huh.
Yes. Because again, first of all, they're just who they are. They're truly authentic. And you got him, you're taking him shopping, nicknaming him Big Swag, yeah, Big Swag or something. And
Hmm.
they're literally, and when they remix Sweet Caroline, okay, that was just epic. That was just epic. So, but yeah, definitely are rest in peace to Takeoff. I did like Migos, but like some of these newer artists, I'm okay. I'm straight on them. Everything sounds the same. So I'm straight on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
it
I'm also an
does.
old lady, so what do I know?
Well, it's when you get old. That happened. Did that happen last week too? You
That
sneaking one.
happened last week,
You
man.
sneaking one
Listen.
in on us, Miss Parker.
Man, listen. It was like I woke up, said, oh my God, it's my birthday. and went right back to sleep. So most folks kind of get excited. They be, yeah, it's my birthday. I was tired. I said, well, yeah, I'm grown because all I wanted to do before I moved around was take a nap.
That's deep.
That was
That's
it
deep.
was
Now I've had birthdays like that, but it was usually because the night before I brought my birthday in so hard that I was hungover on my birthday. So I was just like, happy birthday, me, y'all.
right. No, last week I got in that Friday. I was so happy to be in my warm bed. I had my TV on watching a silly movie, and then I woke up like it's my birthday and went back to sleep before it was time to move around.
That's deep.
So very much, very much so.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. That's all right though. But yo, speaking of movies, we were finna get into some movies this week, particularly
Let's get
after
into it.
after talking about Friday last week. So I got a cousin. And you know what? Big shouts out to my cousin D. If he ain't in the building, matter of fact, he ain't got to go to work tomorrow. I'm gonna send him this damn link because he got to hit his. But before I get into all that, we have a debate going with me and him, and it's not a debate, more so that we're on the same side of the debate, which is
Okay.
it's kind of like a debate with no opponent type thing. But
Okay.
we were talking about the movie A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay.
And I remember growing up, I remember loving that movie growing up. I probably shouldn't have been watching it because I think the movie dropped. I was about 13, 14, give or take.
Mm,
So I ain't really know nothing about no real life situations like that. But Martin was in it. He was funny. Bobby Brown's cool. Lynn Whitfield's fine. And Della Reese was gonna bust her in her head.
yeah.
And then Regina King was in it. Regina
Yeah.
King's like she's like the home girl to me. Like
She
Regina
is.
Regina King made it big, and I'm not sure where she's from in real life. Anybody in my chat, fact check me that. Where's Regina King from? But she seemed like the type that she would still hang out on the Ave and drink a beer with you,
Mm-hmm.
like an actual deer. Like yo, pop the top,
Yeah.
put the suds off a little bit, and then real for real drink a beer with you. So we watched this movie, and one of as I got older and I watched it, one of my biggest gripes was that Martin truly did not realize what he had his hands on when he met that woman Brandy, and he had a lot that kind of got dropped in his lap at one time.
Okay.
Now, true, he had a totally different pursuit going. His pursuit was just to get laid and be called the man. And in turn, he couldn't see the main focus. Like this woman had it all. You got to think he ran up on her at her job. She was selling a multi-million-dollar house.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she was driving through his neighborhood in a limo. I mean, she looked like money. She was money.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't on the set, but I'm pretty sure you could be like this. Yep, that's money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yeah, that's money right there. And then the fact that I get looked at funny when I say that one, Martin, you dropped the bag, you dropped the bag, something you fumbled the bag, something major, and two, you slick got what you deserved.
Um. Well. Okay. Let's go ahead and say this.
Boom, fact check. Regina King is from LA,
Cool.
so when she did Boys in the Hood and Friday, she just woke up
She
and
was
then
at
walked.
home.
Yeah,
She
she
was at
woke up
home.
and walked across the street and was like, "All right, yo, finish this movie. My mama cooking later on."
Yeah. She was there. She was at home. But
Appreciate it, Tina.
but yeah. But to go back to what you were saying that Martin got what he deserved. Um. Well, let's say this. It is never okay. It's never okay to deliberately toy with someone's emotion, someone's affection. That's not okay. That honestly stems from a level of insecurity. That's something that is not healthy or healed in you, where you feel like other women now have to kind of pay. Maybe at one point you weren't the guy that was getting the girls, and now all of a sudden now you got a little money, you promoting in the club, you got a little swag. So now what you're doing is you're doing a get back from when you were younger and you couldn't pull them. Now they all on you, and it's mainly because now you look like something or you have something that they
You
actually
got a little,
want.
right. You got a little
So
piece of something.
yeah. So A lot of people who still battle with that insecurity of rejection previously, now they're getting a whole bunch of attention, and now I'm going to run through. I'm going to date this person, this person, this person, that person. Why? Because I can. And because they want to date me at first. So I'm about to live this up because you're still battling with them. But in saying that, as a grown woman, clearly the character of Brandy had to be maybe, I'll say, 7 to 10 years his junior. So based
No,
no,
his
yeah,
senior.
his senior. Seven
Hmm.
to 10 years his senior,
If not more, honestly,
if
because
not more.
that was one of the things that me and him was speculating on,
Yeah,
with like their age gap. Because I would have to say, if I had to guess, I would have put Martin at 25 and her at about 40.
exactly. So this was an older woman. What does an older woman have in common with a younger man outside of the physical? That is it. This is not someone that you can fully submit to. This is not someone that you can tap into his energy to get a level of guidance. You don't feel fully protected. So the whole idea was she went in this situation like most women do when they do date younger men is for a sense of control. Once the situation got to a place where she could no longer control it, then she found a way to force her level of control and manipulation. So you had two manipulators that literally met one another. You had the playboy who's a manipulator, and you had the control freak. And that's what it was. So to say that he kind of got what he deserved, his plan backfired. Her plan backfired too because she went to jail. This wasn't one-sided, but it shows you again, it shows you the importance. To me, that movie shows you the importance of healing. It shows you the importance of before you get involved in anything. You better do some soul search. You better spend some time alone. You better get to know you because what you were dealing with was an insecure little boy and an insecure little girl who just happened to age. Exactly. They met each other and it was kind of like one canceled out the other. So I can't just say that Martin got what he deserved because she clearly knew. Come on now. She clearly knew he was a kid. She clearly, he still stayed at home with his mother. So what did you really have in common
Oh, no, he had
out
his own. He had his own place.
where?
He did, because you remember he used to go to his mom's house. But
I, you know
yeah,
what?
you
I
remember when?
remember,
Matter of fact,
no,
you remember when Brandy showed up and was cooking in his kitchen?
that was his mother's house.
Nah, that was his. No, you know Della Reese wasn't finna have that shit. But Della Reese would have killed everybody in the movie. Movie would have
You
been
know
30
what?
minutes long.
I have to watch. I have to watch the movie again. I had to watch the movie again because I clearly thought that just in talking about that he's still with his mother. Well, I stand corrected, but still, this was someone. This was someone that you really had nothing in common. You had nothing in common. This was supposed to be about fun, but yet both are insecure manipulators. So they both got the bad end of the stick.
I
It
don't.
could have been worse.
Yeah, I didn't really look at her as the manipulator though, truthfully, because he went hard at her. Like that lady gave him the cold shoulder every chance she got, and he went so hard at her, and so she's trying to bring him into this world, and this is where I feel like he dropped the bag. This lady had you had the potential to elevate with this lady. You know what I'm saying? To yet another plateau. He said something about, oh, I got to get back to the neighborhood, and go to the club. She said, I'll buy you a club. New York, LA, Vegas, Paris, whatever. She's like, I'll buy you a club.
But
Dude.
that
And then the thing was, you already sitting there. The old man talking about he want out of Chocolate City. Yo,
but that
get
was
this one for me. Get it.
but
Get
that
it for
was
me.
also that was also a level of control
I don't think that's
because
where she was coming from with it. I think it was more
had
like
to.
a do for my man type thing. Because
Mm-mm.
that is how he pawned it off to her. Not like, oh, I'm just a young boy trying to have fun with this. To get what he wanted. Yeah, he went into that and told that big ass lie on her couch, like, I love you and you're my woman, I'm your man. And she believed it.
Now here's my theory, and I don't speak for all women. I can only speak for myself. as a grown woman, if I'm buying a man a car, a club, if I'm spending money on him, this is not someone who I believe is my equal. I'm trying to build him to, I need him to look a certain way just to be on my arm. However, in my mind, it's all about manipulation. So now, if that was the card I was going to play, because for me as a grown woman, I want to build with my man. I want this to be our vision, our venture. I need to learn from him and he needs to learn from me. But if I have to provide you with the car, the club, that's what a woman does for her son. I'll buy my godsons a business. I'll buy their first car. If they want to get into the clubbing industry, whatever, I help them start it up.
Look,
That's
I'll tell
what
them to run,
that's
run, and don't do it.
my thing is. That's what you do for your children. Because keep in mind, it was never about, hey baby, let's go on business together. She was just trying to shell out certain things. She was taking him to the tailor, if I'm not mistaken.
If you
uh
remember, he was getting his clothes so from a booster in a back alley,
he was
and
she
next
he,
thing you know, she's getting him custom tailor made.
but all of that goes with a level of control. It's just kind of like you find the woman who she on paper has it together. She got a decent house, fantastic job. She's not too bad looking on the eyes. She has her stuff together. But then she gets with the guy that not only don't he bring anything to the table, he can't even afford a chair to be placed at a table. He's
But you know
just
what? He
he's a
had his
project.
he had his own table, but her table just sat in a room that he couldn't even go to the building where this room
He
that her
he
table
clear
sat in.
I agree. He clearly had his own table, but it wasn't hers. So here's the thing.
Oh no.
Because keep in mind, he had his own table, but there was never anything in her vernacular that talked about building. This was what I can do for you, what I can do for you. So it's like, okay, if I'm always talking about what I'm going to do for you, that comes with a cost. I'm not looking to partner with someone that I have to do everything. If I am doing everything, I'm coming from a place of control. I need to control the narrative. I need to have a sense of control over you. Why do you think as soon as things went awry, she's popping up at his house, like you said, as you pointed out, popping up at his mama's house, you
Mhm.
know, just doing crazy stuff. She had to regain a level of control that she lost. So they were both manipulators. He was trying to capitalize off of it. It was more of a, here goes this older woman. She's fine. I bet you I can hit that. She automatically knows what game he's on because she even earlier on addresses it. She
Mhm.
does, dodge him a couple of times. But here's the thing, if you know that someone is not the caliber of man and you eventually allow him to catch you, it's control.
I would
It's
say
control.
this control. I wouldn't say that though.
It's
Here
control.
because I don't see it as control, and here's why I say that.
I'm
It's
listening.
because and here's why I say that. It's like it's one of those things to where no matter where you get in the social economic climate, and I can only speak for me. It's certain shit that just reminds you of when things were fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like when we was talking about Regina King a little while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting on the Ave 12:30 at night in the summertime, looking at the stars, talking about everything and nothing. It's probably some UGK on the radio, and drinking a few brews. It's just that thing that kind of it takes you back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there are and whether it's a song, songs can do that to where you be like, damn, I remember that. Yo, that song remind me of that time back in the day with the woo woo woo. You know what I'm saying? People could do that. Certain energies from people could do that to where it's like and it was funny. Yesterday, I had my brother, big shouts out to Larry Hodges. Kid Dynamite was in the building last night, and it was I was we were talking about girls from the projects, and that was a level of fun at one time. It's not like I'm trying to control the situation because that's
Yeah.
I don't know how you control anybody from the projects. That's above my pay grade, to be honest.
I mean,
But it reminds me of that level of fun. Those people that just kind of have a different way of how they move. So it's just like, well, fuck it, this is just fun. That's not very productive, but it's fun. And I
yeah,
really thought that she, at her at her status, she had kind of lost that fun because she was all about the grind, the work. I got myself to this point, and and particularly as a black woman in the mid 90s, sitting where she was sitting, she had to constantly work probably triple time just to keep it afloat.
oh,
So,
absolutely.
so where was her fun?
But again, that's what I'm saying. This whole thing with him was supposed to just be fun. She even said that she was too old. She even said that in so many ways he was out of his league. She knew what she was dealing with. So if I say to you, you're too young, you're out of my league, you just kind of want to hit. Well, if I say something like that and I still deal with you, I'm not coming to this situation looking for a companion. I'm looking for someone to manipulate. That's not how you start off a relationship. So I really believe that when it got to a place where he wanted to regain a level of independence, or he wanted to get away from her, then that's when it was like, boy, please, I didn't put you on. I have done this with you. I have purchased that for you. You're not going anywhere. Matter of fact, we're done when I say that we're done. So she came to the situation. She already identified what was wrong. You're too young. You're not in my league, etc., etc.
She called it
But she
immature a few times.
right, she sure did. So when she allowed herself to be pursued by him, at this point it was like, well, let me go ahead and do my thing with this little boy and then be done. She got caught up, he got caught up, but then as soon as it flip-flopped on both of them, then yeah, that's when you really really kind of saw, you really kind of saw her for who she was. And then here she was, this polished, beautiful businesswoman. And then you see that he is turning his attention. And I love me some Regina King. But
Yeah.
if you remember the movie, she had just kind of come home from the Air Force. She looked fantastic, but she wasn't as refined as Lynn Whitfield's
No,
character
she was the
was.
around the way girl.
She was the roundaway girl. So now when you sit up here and I'm taking you and you eating a filet mignon on my dime. I'm putting you in tailored suits on my dime. I'm exposing you to a life of an equestrian. I'm doing all these high-end things, and you about to go hang out with the homegirl with the bamboo earrings, at least two pair. Dude, you lost your mind. But
10
here's the
points for
thing.
LL Cool J reference.
uh, LL. But here's the thing. If this wasn't about manipulation, then why didn't Logic kick back in and say, you know what, this woman is more of his speed. She's more of his age. I mean, why?
I think it was the feeling. I think it was the feeling of
I think it was
feeling
control.
feeling like you got played. And I'm gonna tell you, and I can
Oh,
speak from
absolutely.
I'm gonna speak from experience on this. Well, okay, maybe some guy I knew. Who the hell knows? Nobody knows for sure. But getting played is one thing. But getting played by somebody that you know that you shouldn't be getting played by, you know what I'm saying? It's like losing to the Lions type shit.
I definitely have my share
And
of.
I'm talking about 40-3 against the Lions
Yeah, I
on the
definitely
road.
I definitely, yeah, not with Jared Goff, with Matt Stafford. That couldn't throw it. Yeah, absolutely. But
We ain't
yeah,
gotta do Stafford like
I can't. I'm
that.
sorry. I'm sorry.
but
But
no,
yeah,
but no, I'm serious. Like that. That's the part that it not only get like I said, getting played stings. It hurts. But somebody that you know, it's like this motherfucker barely got teeth. Like you don't even you don't
exactly.
even see at night good. Like you wear glasses to bed, and anyway, what the fuck, cuz?
Yeah, exactly. But again, again, this wasn't to me. I can't say that he got what he deserved. I think they both got what was coming to them because this wasn't the first time she was trying to control. The same way it wasn't his first time he was trying to be a player. It backfired. It backfired, and it could have cost him greatly. It could have
More.
cost her greatly. Because the biggest thing that he said is he hopes that when he even said at the end, he hopes when she gets out. So thank God it wasn't a life sentence. But he said, when I hope when she gets out that someone heals her heart. So no, this was too manipulated. This was a bad accident waiting to happen. And neither one of them had any business being with anybody else. They had to come together to collide. They had to come together to crash and almost burn. But yeah, no fatality. They had to crash.
Said no fatality.
No fatality. But but they had to collide. I I call I call that toxic control. You know, some people always saying, "Oh, why so many? Why this person get married so soon?" Toxic control. I truly believe sometimes God got to get people out the way. You have no business spreading your handicap around around the around the dating pool. God gonna allow you two to meet up in your early 20s and be stuck like Chuck together. Because other than that, you will add more toxicity to a dating pool that don't need anymore. It is toxic control. So that's what happened in Thin Line, in my opinion. It was those two had to come together because they both needed to be redirected. He couldn't play any more women. Enough. She couldn't be a manipulator. Okay, I believe she was manipulated. She couldn't manipulate anyone else. They had to meet so that their lives could change for the better. No, with no fatality.
With no
But it almost
fatality.
cost them. So
Yeah, he liked the guy fatality.
almost,
Almost.
almost. But
Yo, she had a pool that was in the water was indigo. You couldn't just stick around for the purple pool, man.
nope.
I don't know. And maybe it's just me on the outside looking in. I was sold. The crib, the car, the money. I was like, she and Lynn Whitfield firm. You know what? Go ahead. Look. God damn, where my keys at? Let me
Yeah,
get this
yeah,
motherfucker. God damn.
yeah. And Lynn is kind of like Lynn and Angela and people like that and Loretta Devine. These women just age. They just get older. They do not age. They're like wine. They get better as they get older. Cause you look at these women like Loretta Devine's in her 70s.
Seriously?
70, yes. She is in her 70s. Angela and Lynn are in their 60s. These sisters here are the true definition of black don't crack. They are beautiful women. Beautiful women.
Yes, you could
And
buy me a club.
absolutely. Absolutely. But
Yes, you could
understand,
buy me a club.
but understand if she buy you a club, she controlling DJ Agony. Now, if she says, Agony, let's get together and learn how to build this together, then you her partner. But if she just giving you something, dance, puppet, dance.
That's crazy, man. But you know what? I can see that from both angles, man. But
Absolutely.
at the same time, Mark, you fumbled the bag, bro. You fumbled the bag. She had purple water in the pool. Well, maybe the water wasn't purple, but the lights were. He said, "Oh, you got blue water. It's indigo." I was like, "Nigga, I'm done." I took the remote, turned it. I started watching some anime after that. I was like, "I can't watch no more of this. I can't."
And and what and it was at that time that we learned what Bobby Brown's middle name was. Did you remember the ending credits? For whatever reason, it had Bobby Brown's full government name.
They want to make sure they got it right on the check.
I believe his name, Bear's Tooth or Bear's Foot. Bobby Bear's Foot Brown.
Seriously?
That if you look at the movie again and just wait for if I'm not, someone correct me if I'm wrong.
My people in the chat, find me Bobby Brown middle name. Barefoot.
I believe it's like Bear's Foot, Bear's Tooth. And I know it wasn't a nickname because a nickname would be in quotation. No, It was Bobby Bearsfoot Brown. And I said, what the devil am I looking at? Because, I'm one of those people, I want to see the credits. I
Right.
just want to, I want to see, oh, that was so and so. Oh, what was the person's name? So I'm that person. I look at the credits when the movie rolls off. Bobby Bearsfoot Brown.
Why,
Fact
why,
check
why
me.
my people in the chat fact checking that for me? One thing that I did notice about this movie being grown and like going back looking at it again, the soundtrack was bananas.
Absolutely. But
Oh
all
my,
but
oh my god, that soundtrack was ghetto gold.
all those movies back in the day had killer soundtracks. I mean, but that was also too when, yeah, you could just go right to the record store. You go to FYE whatever, and you could just go pick up
It was
any
Turtles,
soundtrack, and it was just
Camelot, Turtles, Camelot, Peppermint, Sam
right.
Goody. Yes. But yeah, that soundtrack was crazy. And then of course, what song does him and when him and Lynn Whitfield finally get down? What song do they get down to? So damn R. Kelly. I was like, of course.
I forgot about that. I honestly
Freak
forgot about that.
Tonight. Like Freak Tonight was ill though. I remember like getting in trouble for listening to that back when it was out. So it's like, haha, can't tell me nothing new. Bro, you
Oh,
play.
Robert, oh, Robert Kelly.
Oh Robert, man, I'm telling you. Goddamn Robert. Goddamn Robert. I don't even want to get into Robert tonight. We ain't got enough night to get into Robert.
Not tonight. Not
It's not.
tonight.
I don't look. Yeah,
We could talk all day
I ain't got enough.
about.
I ain't got enough tonight or enough cup to get into Robert.
We can talk. Yeah, because that can be a full or 2 hour. Forget the niceties or salutations when you first come on. No, as soon as it says, "Hey, that red button means that we are live." Robert R. Kelly is coming out because we're gonna need every every moment in time to
Yeah.
just unpack this brother. And yeah, you know,
all
sh-
I all I can say is, damn it, Robert.
but I will say this: to anyone who knows me, being from Chicago, I will be the first to say that I'm not necessarily a fan, but I do have a level. I do have a level of love for R. Kelly. I just don't believe the hype that a lot of people. Oh, he's the greatest. No, I don't believe any of that. I believe he's talented. I truly believe you're not going to deny his talent, and you're not going to deny that he has the ability to captivate the audience. But it's just a disservice was done to him. I'll just say this: well, a disservice was done to him, and he never got the correct help that he needed, nor did he get the healing that he needed. And I honestly believe that because I do know he reached out to like everyone in Chicago's favorite minister to go to. If it's not Father Flagger, it's Minister Louis Farrakhan from Chicago.
Farrakhan, facts.
And from my understanding, he reached out to both, and both encouraged him to, you know, get some counseling, do this, do that. I just honestly believe by that point he was so far gone. And he was just so far gone where before you knew it, he was just in this lifestyle. And there were just some spirits that were on him that he never got the correct healing from. But I will say this: although I believe he is where he is supposed to be, he should not be there alone. And I'll leave it at that.
Shout out to the Savage family.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I went there. That just
Yeah,
happened.
yeah. He should be where he is, no doubt. Especially when it got to the place where it crossed over from it just being a little fun and dangerous and sneaking to outright trafficking. When it crossed over to that, he's where he needs to be, but he should not be there alone. The parents, that ex-wife who want to sit up here and walk and strut and like a duck every time we turn around, she's somewhere walking. She needs to be there too. If you took your niece or your daughter to get a record deal, you need to be there too. So no, he should not be there alone.
That's why
But
I grew
anywho,
up. I grew up with no talent.
what? But anywho,
Right. So I'm thinking about when we was talking about the thin line between love and hate. It made me start thinking about the Beyonce song "Upgrade You,"
Uh-huh.
and then it made me think about our other um our other favorite power couple, good
And what would
old
that be?
good old Russ. Your favorite quarterback and mine, Russell Wilson and Sierra. And here's the thing, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a little backstory on this. Around maybe like the first month or so, I met Miss Parker. Just kind of having a conversation of sorts. I don't really know a lot about this woman. I know, hey, she talks like she reads well, and she doesn't have to put her finger under the word when she read. Like she can actually just read.
Follow the ball.
What is it? Track the words with your fingers. God, now that's some shit I don't miss. Oh God, that's some shit I don't miss. Y'all still got to do that every morning.
Please don't remind me.
Okay, never
I'm on
mind.
lesson. I'm on lesson 124 in the morning.
Oh, so you almost done then, right?
Almost done. I'm almost
Ooh,
done.
big shouts out to you.
What?
Um, I ain't gonna lie. I could tell you this. Well, I'll tell you this probably after we get off. But yeah, like I actually stole a great idea from one of those stories. The stories were actually entertaining. Just all the other dumb shit that come with it. Except for the story about those trees. That had to be the longest 2 weeks of my life. Remember the one about the trees and the forest fire?
Now you know what? I've only had composition, so I didn't have anything else where you
Are
had
you
to.
serious? So you got like the ones that's damn near done completely.
Yeah, because
You don't,
remember
you don't
last
know you
year.
don't know my pain.
Because remember last
That's
year
right.
when I got
Last year yours was tested out.
exactly when I got there last year. Right. I inherited Daniel's class, so when I got there last year, they were already tested out. And this group that I have this year, they're in Comp C. So yeah, I don't have any painful stories. It's just I feel with my group I feel my group they're bored with it. So I believe that they're kind of getting everything that they could possibly get. But I do like the fact that I still do have language enrichment because I can always infuse that into my actual content. So I do like that. But no, I don't have any. Yeah, I've heard horror stories, and I don't envy anyone, nor do I want to be Captain Saber para or Captain Saber teacher. I don't want to take your class. I like having comp.
You don't know my pain. I thought we was Gina Tommy Cole Pam. I thought we was here.
Not
Thought we was here.
not not with this one. Not with
You know
this
what?
one.
This might be the last week of the planning period, y'all. We got some soul searching to do
What?
and some
Please.
healing.
People
It's
like to
go,
play in period.
it's gonna be me, Miss Parker, and Farrakhan. Got to fix this one.
Listen,
She don't know my pain.
listen. Anytime. I mean, I promise you, he is one of my favorite spiritual leaders. Yeah. So hey,
Absolutely,
love him.
absolutely. But going back though, we were on our planning period, just having conversation about anything and nothing, and the whole conversation of Russell Wilson and Sierra came up, and it was one of those things. Miss Parker unleashed, and I was like,
Well,
I couldn't figure it out then, but that was something in that room. I was just like, I got to figure out a way to package this so I can sell it. You know what I'm saying?
here's my thing, and let me give a disclaimer because I have to start off by saying I think she is a beautiful girl. I actually met her. I met her when I was still with Boys and Girls Club. We had some kind of event at that time at our NFL Yet Boys and Girls Club, and it was like a Sprite kickoff. And she was actually one of the entertainers. And she came and danced and hung out with the kids. She's a big kid. She's just super adorable. Instantly said, "Oh my!" I said, "Oh my gosh, she's just she's just so adorable." However,
There it is. And here
let's
we go.
let's talk about maybe me not necessarily being a full fan. Now, I will say this, I'm on the outside looking in. I am not invested. I don't know what goes on behind closed doors because why? I'm not supposed to.
I
This
mean,
is
yeah,
not my
none of us
none of
do.
us do.
Gonna be real.
This
Yeah.
is not my relationship. This is not a relationship that I want to pattern anything that I have or will
What?
have after.
Wait a minute. So this ain't goals.
This not goals. This
This
not
ain't
goals.
goals.
This ain't goals. First of all, Both of them could kind of be like my little. Well, she could probably be maybe my kid. He could be my kid if I started off early. But no, no, these are not goals.
So you'd
But
have to
what I
skip
would,
school.
but what I, but what I will say is this: all we have the liberty of doing is looking on the outside, and perception is just what it is. Perception for the outsider is our temporary reality. Let's just be real. And what, here's my thing. You have Russell, who probably don't have a thug bone in his body. This was not how he was raised. You can tell by the way he carries himself, the way he speaks, that there was the King English that was being pushed in his house. There was a standard that was in his house. That's what you can see just coming off of him. He talks very highly of his faith. He is a devout Christian. You hear him. And even when it came time to him interviewing, whether it was after he won the Super Bowl, even if it was after him dropping the ball, not passing the ball to beast mode, yeah, whatever it was, you've always heard him come on.
I'm gonna be
And he
honest
was,
with you. In that situation, I'd have pushed Pete Carroll in the front. They'd be like, "So Russell, why didn't you run to Marshawn Lynch at the time?" Oh, I think Coach Carroll would like to answer that
but
for me, please.
but here's the
And I,
thing. But him taking it, he understood as the quarterback, I'm the leader of this team. Although Coach Carroll he might call a play, I'm on the field. I can see
I'm
what's
not.
getting
I
ready to
wasn't
happen.
taking the L for nothing that stupid.
You know what? But that also kind of just describes the caliber of man Russell is.
It sounds
Because
like
for
a sucker
me,
move.
me
That sounds like a sucker move.
outside looking in, I'm not getting ready to have one of the biggest running backs on my team. And all I got to do is put the ball in his hand. He's beast mode for a reason. He is going to get through. He's going to get through, period. And therefore would have been your second Super Bowl championship. But you play it safe against Brady. You don't play it safe against old man Brady. You just don't.
And
But
a
anyway,
Belichick defense.
right. But anyway, so here you have Russell, who has always been, even when he was married to his first wife, he's always been this guy that has been eloquent. He has been proper. He has been articulate. He has been that guy that if if I had a son that was going into the NFL right now, and if this was this Russell I'm speaking of, I would have wanted a Russell Wilson to mentor my son because you didn't see him. You didn't see him with the foolishness. You didn't see him getting caught up with this or that. You didn't see him getting caught up with 26 massage therapists and all that stuff. We'll leave it alone. I don't want to go there because we could save that one for a different conversation with that baby.
I don't
But
see nothing he did wrong, but I digress.
but you didn't find Russell getting involved in a lot of stuff. You just looked up one day
I'm gonna
and
be honest
Russell,
with you. Russell was that quarterback that Dion described.
exactly. This is what Dion's looking for. He
Hmm.
was looking for clean cut. He's looking for Russell. All you knew is that was Russell was divorced. That's all you knew. He was married. I said, he's not married. Fast forward, here comes this pretty little girl from Georgia. Sweet, but it's as country as a sugar sandwich.
There's a sugar sandwich there.
And unfortunately, see, men can date all day long. Men could be attached to this woman, that woman, and they don't lose an entity of being distinguished. They might even be considered players. But here you had this young woman who was dating, and there's nothing wrong with a young woman dating, but she was attached to quite a few in the industry, quite a few. And then you ended up having a child with a professional baby daddy. Out of all the other ones you were attached to 50. At one point, you were attached to Bow Wow. There was rumors about you and Trey Songz, etc., etc. You have a child with the professional semen factory.
See,
This is what you
we not.
do.
Oh, whoa,
This is what
whoa.
you do.
Well, we ain't gonna do mid Park and just let you just walk past that one like you ain't just say that. Mm-mm. You
I
just
said it.
said
I say it again. But this is what you do. So you have a child, and don't get me wrong. Do I think I think he's handsome as well. But let's just call the spade a spade. This is just what he was known for. I can't tell. I really can't tell you right now. I can't name you five future songs, but I can tell you that he has more than five children.
really. He
Be-
cold as a motherfucker. Big,
Because
big shouts out to Future. Zone
I
six in the
mean,
building.
seriously, because this is what the media puts out about him. He might be the sweetest thing in the whole wide world. He might be the most charming guy in the whole wide world. But what they want to highlight is the fact that he has multiple children with multiple women, Sierra being one. So now, if I'm a mother and I have taken pride in raising a son like Russell, do you think this is what I want you to bring home to me? She's pretty. She dances. Every time I turn around, she always somewhere with her legs gapping open, and she's doing all her little. But is this what I want you to bring home? But because keep in mind, I've never heard his mother step up and say, "Oh, I love my daughter-in-law." Black women they love their sons.
Now let me ask you this: in Russell's biracial dynamic, who's black and who's white?
If I'm not mistaken, I think, I could be wrong. I think mom is black.
Really? My
I
folks in
think,
the chat, my folks in the
I
my folks
think,
in the live feed, fact check that for me. Who's black? Like Russell's parent dynamic makeup,
I,
because
I
because
think.
because a lot of times it's always kind of like the default is black dad, white mom.
But
But
if I'm not,
with him, I
but if
just don't damn remember.
but if I'm not mistaken, I think he has the whole Lenny Kravitz thing going on. I think mom is black, if I'm not mistaken. But I will say whether or not, let me back up. Mothers love their sons. Mothers love their children, but mothers love their sons. And one thing that Russell said was, he said when he got with her, he said he had to go into prayer. He had to pray. He He said he had to pray. And he said when he went in deep prayer, God showed him, you're going to have to love her differently. Be patient with her. Love her in a way she's never been loved. And the first thing he did was he kept his hands off of her. He didn't touch her. They allegedly did not consummate the marriage until they were married. He didn't lay outside of a hug, a kiss, a level of infection. There was no intimacy apparently that took place. There was no penetration that took place prior to them getting married. He
But
kept
here's the
he kept
thing
his
though.
hands off of her.
He slick had a cheat code because you got to think training camp starts with August preseason. And you go deep in the playoffs, you playing until January. So that's about 5 months killed right there. That I ain't got to worry about touching you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
And then she on tour. Call that another
but
3 months. Think I'm
but
good.
this was a decision that he said that he made. That because again, she was known to kind of be in the industry, and then when you come out of such a toxic relationship with a man, that because she was engaged to Future, this just wasn't a fling.
hmm
She
hmm
wanted to spend the rest of her life with him. So when you go from that extreme, you went from this guy to that guy. That was a culture change for her. But this is my thing. The moment she got with Russell, she began to look better. She's all them terrible, and I'm not, and forgive me, ladies, I'm not a fan of blonde hair on black women. I'm just not. But she would wear all these blondish like wigs or whatever, and it just made her look so rough. And then she got with Russell. She looked refined. She looked clean. She just looked like someone. She looked like a woman who was being loved properly. You begin to hear different things he was putting in place for her. Like, I believe this woman owns a baseball team now.
Yeah, he
He
was at one time he was buying into it because Russell had the option to go play pro
yeah,
baseball,
yeah,
and he opted for football. I think he should have played baseball, but I digress. We ain't gonna get
but
into that.
but
But
you
he
but
was
you
buying
clear
into the. I want to say he was buying into the Mariners.
that sounds about right.
Yeah, because he was already playing for Seattle, so it would make
But you
sense. But
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 you
let me
can
ask you
read.
this: but why would him, in a sense, upgrading her not be looked at as manipulation?
Well, because okay, in my opinion, they were still, although he made more money, she didn't necessarily need his money. They were on a, they're not that far in age. I
Not
want to say he's 34. She might be like 32. So they're same generation.
not necessarily money, but more so going back into the refinement.
I just think, when it comes to I think when it comes to anyone, when the relationship is healthy, you should see that it should be apparently visual on both ends, on both sides. So I really don't see that as a form of manipulation, because this wasn't like oh, you're going to look this way now that I have you. I just think it was just being loved properly. And now here you have someone that is doing the biggest thing, greatest thing he could do for you. And that's by learning you and learning who you are and appreciating you, but keeping his hands off of you physically, because this is what, because if you could tell that she was that young lady that was associating sex with love, and he removed that and just gave her pure love. So when you're loved properly, you have a glow. So I don't see that as manipulation. But
But wait a minute, they're not the same thing.
what you mean?
Sex and love ain't the same thing.
Nope.
Dang,
Nope. But for me,
you tell me this now.
but for me, the issue that I've kind of had, and I can't even say it's an issue because it doesn't impact
Let-
my life at all.
but let me take a step back to the last thing you said before you get
Okay.
into the not issue thing.
Okay.
If what you're saying is true, shouldn't that glow be mutual?
And it's not. It
Because
should be,
the way it
but it's
looks to
not.
me is that you know whether Russell married her or not, Russell would still be the same football player he is now.
It should have been. It should have been. It should have been a. You know what? To me, it should have been a glow that you see, no matter how much dirt they say the two of them had, or how many skeletons the two of them had in their closet. You are not denying the glow that Steve and Marjorie Harvey have together. You're not denying that. He went from, Steve always had a level of swag, but his swag just went up a notch when Marjorie came into his life. She brings a level of organization and refinement into his life. Look at what he does for her. Beautiful woman, but she just looks properly loved. She has a glow. You can see it. You can see it in him. You can see it in her. There's a level of emotions that you can see when the two of them talk about each other. So you can see that. And even though the foundation of the relationship, from my understanding, was kind of rocky because she was the side chick to the second wife, or whatever it is, you can see now that there seems to be a mutual glow and a mutual come up. I mean, Steve went from being just on a show, an occasional stand up. He gets married. Now, every time you turn around, Steve is on something. If it's not a commercial, hosting Family Feud,
But
if it wasn't his
was that because
own
of him
show.
or was that because of her? Because I've never heard her tell a joke.
But I think, see, what has happened is he has someone in his corner that takes all of the hard stuff away, and which allows him to just be creative. It allows him to be that provider. It allows him to go be that go-getter, because she brings a level of organization into his life. I heard this guy, and I did not catch his name. I'm just kind of scrolling through Instagram. But this gentleman, he was talking about that for him, the best decision he made before he made his first million was to get the right woman. And he says the woman that he has in his life, not only is she beautiful, they've been together 20 plus years. He says this woman brings a level of peace to my life where I don't have to worry about my home. I don't have to worry about if this is getting paid. I don't have to worry about what I'm eating. I don't have to worry about what I'm drinking. I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. I can just clearly focus on getting the bag. I can focus on taking those steps that's going to ensure that I'm leaving a legacy financially for my family because I have the right woman. She takes all of that pressure off of me. I can focus on my God given talent, and that's to be a provider. So that's what I believe that Marjorie brings to the table. She no, you don't hear her tell a joke, but Steve, in order for him to do everything that he does, organization has to be there. And I'm not saying that men aren't organized, but we do know that that's typically
We're not.
theoretically more the strength of a woman.
Y'all
So
aren't.
she brings a level of organization and peace into his life. Even the way he speaks,
Oh,
even the way.
they go Bobby Brown middle name.
Okay, yeah. See, bears. Yeah, it was like bear's foot, bear. Yeah, it's crazy. But anyway, but she brings a level of peace to his life. Now going back to my baby Russ.
You got Kate Duplessis in the building. What's happening with your
Hey,
shout? I
Miss
got a
K.
I got a few folks that's been in the chat the whole time, and these messages are just popping up. Both parents are people of color, but dad looked like he got a little
Okay,
something else in the mid. Okay, so
okay,
pretty much like Steph Curry. I didn't know this, but Steph Curry's mom is like his parents aren't. Well, I know Dale Curry. We remember Dale Curry
yeah,
from the Hornets, but his mom's not. She like black, orange, and
fair
little
skin.
shot of yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all.
So yeah, did
Yeah,
did not know that until like 3 years ago. Dead serious.
yeah. But kind of going back to Mr. Russ, and again, this is just outside looking in. They got married in 2016. Beautiful wedding. I mean, she looked beautiful. Russell looked so happy.
Got my brother
27,
Glenn Bay in the building. Peace. Keep going.
2017, Russell's stats began to stink. And he has stunk up the place ever since. I have no idea what's going on with that hair of his. And now when he does an interview, he don't even make eye contact. He stutter a whole lot. It's like, Russell, if you in danger, blink twice, dude. Do something. Let us know because it just doesn't appear. And I mean, she keeps saying, "I'm pregnant again. I'm pregnant again," and Russell is just stinking up the place.
So that's
I'm
what I'm
not
saying. So
saying that that's
it doesn't sound like that glow up was mutual then.
it doesn't.
It sounds
And
like if anything, she won.
she won. But my question is, what has he won? He's a fantastic father. And from my understanding, he is and even like the one thing that I had to just say, if I was his mother, I would pop his hand. You don't ever find yourself when you have built a platform of excellence and greatness, finding yourself rolling in the mud with pigs. When he got into that whole situation between he and Future, where he pretty much tells Future that you can get on gone. I can pretty much pay child support. I can take care of all your children and make sure that all the mothers are good. Why, Russell? Why? And as a woman, my thing now I'm not saying that I can control any man because you can't.
Ooh, talk
But
that shit, Miss Parker.
here's the thing.
Peace,
If
brother.
here's the thing, if you are the father of my son, you are not going to go public about my husband. You're just not. You are just not. We're going to have some kind of come to Jesus meeting. If I'm not going in on all your multiple rainbow colored baby mamas, you going to keep my husband's name
When
out of your mouth. So the
I'm gonna say
fact
you
that
can't
he's
go in
so
on my baby
comfortable,
mamas. You one of them.
but here's the thing: the fact that he's so comfortable coming for Russell makes me scratch my head. See what's going on? Because why is he so comfortable coming for not your boyfriend, your boo, your husband, the
What
one who has he has pretty much equipped you to be this woman? Why is your
this next
baby
part of
daddy
your
so
career? Yeah.
comfortable?
I
Why
mean,
is he so comfortable?
I'm gonna be honest with you. You got some people that just take liberties and be like, you know what? He Russell Wilson. What he gonna do to me?
But as but at some point, I have to sit both of you all down. Russell, when you got with me, you knew that I was a ready-made family. Future, love you forever because this is our child. However, this is my life now. You two don't have to be homies. You don't have to even fake kick it. But what you're going to have to do is our son now has two fathers. You have a biological father that I want him to get to know, and you have a bonus father that he's going to see more regularly because he's in the house with me. But what you two grown men going to do, you're going to do what grown men do. You're going to punch up, hit each other in the chest, have a beer and call it a day and figure out what we're going to do for this child. But the fact that Future keeps coming, he was coming for Russell. That means that there was a door that was open because you're not coming for, if you in my past, I don't care if we have children. You're not coming for my husband. I'm
I'm
going to shut you down.
I'm gonna be honest with you though, and you know one of the things that you did say that stuck out. K. Duplessis said that's right. They have to draw the line when it comes to respect. Respect
Yes,
is a
yeah,
big
Miss
thing.
K.
Respect is a big thing, and respect is a minimum. And I'm gonna get into that in a second. That's exactly what he thought. Here's the thing: at some point in time, depending on how long you were with your son's mother, sometimes it's a while to it's out of your till it's out of your mind, it's out of your system that she'll always be mine. That sits in your head for a minute,
Mhm,
but then after a while, it's just like never mind. No, that
mhm.
and it has to cycle out your system. Also, it's just one of those things to where Future just doesn't respect Russ. Like it's because first thing a guy's gonna think, at least how I think, can he whoop my ass?
But
I'm gonna
come on
start.
now.
I'm gonna start there, and then we'll work
Well,
our way through the schematics.
let's look at this. Future's known to drink. Future's known to smoke weed. Russell's in the gym every single day. He's an NFL quarterback who is really getting their ass whooped. Let's be real. But what I also look at is me having a bunch of homeboys. Again, I'll never ever claim to know men. I'm a woman. But I have a bunch of homeboys who just chit chat and I listen and I learn from them. But one thing that I know, being on the outside, having a bunch of homeboys and knowing a lot of their dirt, one of the main reasons why that man don't have respect for you is the very thing you trying to covet, he still has access to. Because if this is one of those things where if there was a line drawn in the sand, he would have no choice but to respect it. But why? Why does he not respect it?
But here's
And
the
he's
thing, though.
purposely doing stuff.
Even if you drew the line in the sand, like I said, we said what we said about Future was that he is a serial baby daddy. He is a line stepper, a habitual line step. So you
But
could draw the line. You could put a fence around it.
why
Put
don't you
put gators in a moat, and he will step that line.
hear him doing it with the other mothers? Is it because they drew a line, in the sand? I mean, what is it?
No,
Because
they didn't start dating quarterbacks.
but clearly there's a level of, and I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But it seems to be that he still has a level of access to her that she has to cut off. Because when it gets to the point where, come on now, Russell, the biggest thing, Russell, the worst thing he could have done was to go back and forth with him publicly. Because all you're doing at that point is you're feeding into the foolishness.
and,
That
and, and, and a guy like Future would get off on that. Like Russ,
exactly
Russ,
that didn't
that's
that
not your game. Is to go back and forth with
not
a
at
nigga from the hood.
all. Not at all. Heck, if you didn't go back and forth with your coach about that stupid play, during
Oh
the
no, no,
Super
no.
Bowl,
Coach would have got
you
threw under the
took
bus
it.
that day. As soon as they asked me, so Russ, what were you thinking on that last play? Ask Coach Carroll. He's standing right next to me.
Right.
Thank y'all for
But
coming out. God bless. Good night.
right. But no. She yeah, that's my opinion. And the fact that you got into it with him, brought up his other children too. You just played into the game for him. You just played right into his hands. He still has a level of access. Russell, that is not your lane. I tell my students all the time, if you stay in your lane, you will never run into traffic. Ride your lane.
There it is. Tina said she think that's thug mentality. I think so too. And
But
then Glenn Bay co-signed the Future is a street ninja and Russell is a regular ninja. And there's a difference in how we move. I mean, street ninjas and I really think that's the thing. That's still the appeal. That yes, Russell got her into a life of stability. But going back to how we started this whole thing off, Sierra still wants to go out there somewhere on the Ave and drink a brew and kick good shit with the futures of the world. And
it
and and she got a baby with one of the futures of the world, and he's always gonna be a constant reminder. I
it
got
reminds you of the movie My Best Friend's Wedding.
I got
When
my
you
brother
had
Jahad Youssef in the building. Yo, bro, stick around for the conversation. It's just good talk among some current educators, just kicking good
yeah,
shit on
to
our
me
planning period.
it reminds me of that scene in the in My Best Friend's Wedding when she was pretty much Julia Roberts trying to tell Cameron Diaz's character that Michael doesn't want filet mignon. He wants jello. And her thing is, I can be jello. Her thing, no, you can never be jello. You can never be jello. So when you think about Miss Cece, oh, from a woman's perspective, oh, she's winning, she's winning. Is that what she really wants, though? I do believe that I think she has a level of appreciation. And I believe that she does indeed love her husband. But when you look at the past guys that she has dated, you could very well see she had a type. You can see she had a type. And it takes a lot of growth, spiritual growth, and a lot of maturity to go from thug to gentleman. That doesn't happen instantly. That's a lot of self work.
And truthfully, was it ever out of her system?
I don't
What
think because,
was she with Russell and playing a role? Like, look, okay, and we know this as particularly women know this. I'm not gonna look like this forever. You're not gonna look like that forever. Russ is lifetime of stability. Russ isn't gonna all of a sudden. I don't foresee it. Not to say that it can't happen because anything's possible. But I don't foresee Russell going from Ward Cleaver to Ike Turner in the same lifetime. You get what I'm saying?
right,
Maybe after he's reincarnated. But so with that being said, she's like, yo, I gotta catch this now. Like, if I mess around and let myself get 40, it's gonna be future number three, or God forbid, it's gonna be like Lil Baby, the baby, uh, Offset. Hell, who the hell know? Like, she's gonna stay in that same boat if she
right.
didn't jump when she jumped.
Because
But
because
at the
one
same time, she jumped in that boat, but she's still looking back at the one she jumped off of.
because one thing that I saw and I kind of shook my head, and maybe I'm the only one who, as a woman, saw this and said, "Uh-oh, something ain't right." One of the first things that she did with Russell, there was a video they posted. She braided his hair. Russell's always had a haircut. He's always been clean cut. So now you're doing something. He's growing his hair out all of a sudden. Like, why, Russell? Why? You've always been this clean cut guy. And the first thing she's doing is cornrolling his hair.
Just
And
to
it's
make it
like,
urban.
it's like, huh?
She urbanized him.
Exactly.
I,
And then, and then not only that, absolutely, Brian, have you heard the recent song she's just done?
no.
There's a song. It's not out all the way yet. I think she's in the studio. I don't know who the heck is producing it. It's definitely not a brother. It can't be an alpha male producer who's producing this. She is putting music out about being a single woman, grinding, getting stuff out of the mud. Single women, whoop whoop, heifer. Who? What mud are you getting anything out of? What are you talking about? It's like, huh? Huh?
Wow.
Why are you still putting music out here? And don't get me wrong, there is absolutely nothing wrong. And hopefully that could be another topic because I really want to dive into stuff about how so many people believe that being married is an elevation from singleness, and for being married is an elevation for being single, and it really isn't. But I digress. But she's sitting up here putting music out, promoting being single, independent. I don't need no man. Are you kidding me? So the very thing that a few people have thrown out there about her, that Future still has access to her. Future claims he's still physically with her and all these different things. And now you're putting this foolishness. I guarantee you, no alpha male producer in the industry is behind that song. Because they would have said, huh? You the wife of who? And this is what you putting out there? Yeah. It hasn't hit mainstream yet. But I heard a snippet of it. I said, this is some foolishness.
Is it better things with Glorilla?
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
got if it got Glorilla in it's only downhill from there.
But exactly. This man has set you up for life. Like if anything happens to this marriage, because I don't believe there's a prenup in place. So if
Oh
anything,
shit.
exactly, this man is trying to love you authentically. He had more. You had yours, but he
Mhm.
clearly had more than
Mhm.
what you had, and he brought a lot more to the table than what you're bringing to the table.
I'm telling you, yo, Tina finna mess around and get a job on a dope show.
She, yes,
Anything I anything I ask, she's right there in the chat with it.
yes, yes.
Tina, look, hey, what you
Tina
want
is
for
dope. Tina is
what
dope.
you want for Christmas,
Seriously.
shoulder? What you want for Christmas? When your
Yes,
birthday,
yes, for the
Tina?
yes, for the girls. And it's like, come on now. No.
Oh wow, it really isn't out because yeah, I just looked it up. It's nothing coming up for that.
It's foolishness. Listen, when Shantae Moore found herself married to, at that time, Kenny Lattimore, who is now married to the wonderful Faith Jenkins. They just celebrate the birth of their daughter. But when Shantae Moore got with Kenny Lattimore, you know what song she put out?
Shantae's got a man, right?
Shantae's Got a Man
At home.
at home. And that was after the divorce of her first husband that she's still to this day very good friends with. That's
That
Kadeem
was Kadeem
Hardison.
Hardison, right? Dwayne Wayne.
But when she got with Kenny Lattimore, the woman can sing 8 octaves. Her voice is crazy awesome. But she puts
That
that
whole album was great.
but she puts that song out about Shantae's got a man, pretty much, and he's been good to me. And she goes on, he treats me right, we never fight, and blah blah blah, all types of stuff. Because again, she's singing about her reality. Sierra, you have one of the most articulate, fantastic, at one point, stat worthy quarterback we have seen at one point. Now his game is a joke. And now it's almost like, okay, let's see what Russell not getting ready to do this week. He literally went from sugar to shit.
You know what though? I don't blame this past season on him. It always takes a season turnaround when you get with a new team.
No, he's been stinking since 2017. They
They,
got married in 2016. It
they
don't
broke up.
take a
They,
rocket scientist to
they
figure
broke
out
up. They broke up the Legion of Boom. And when
he's
your
been
I'm
sick.
and I'm sorry, you know what? When your cornerback can only play one side of the field, I don't buy it. I don't buy you at that point.
Here's my thing. Tom Brady lost his wife. He didn't completely stink this last year,
This last year, he played like ass.
but he didn't completely stink. He's also 46 years old.
Oh, well, you left that part out though. That's
He's
different.
also 46 years old.
He
Russell's
is.
34
He
years
is.
old, and
He's
he
only
has been
34. Really?
Russell was 34 years old and has been funking up the joint since 2017. So I said, wait a minute, 2017, what shifted? He got married in 2016.
Dun dun dun.
Now, I can't sit up here as a black woman and knock a young black woman, and I will not. And I cannot put all the blame on her, and I will not do that, which is why I gave a disclaimer that I think she's adorable. However, let's tell the truth. This doesn't seem to be an equal glow up.
No.
Now, we're just on the outside looking in. He could very well love the fact that he stinks right now because heck, if he keep on going, he gonna have a whole bunch of time at home with his children. He could very well he could very well love the fact, very well love the fact. But the reality of it is, when you look at his stats are just not what they are.
Glenn Bay said Kitty was too soft for her. I really liked her, and she should have been my wife. I didn't like Kitty's dad for hooking him up with her from the start. Man, look, I get it. I get it. I feel the same way about Jill Scott. You know, that one was taken from me. I never
Go
got my
get
fair. I never
go
got my
get
fair
her.
shot.
Go. I think Miss Jill single. Go get her. Go for her.
Is she single this week?
I think so. She's
Uh,
beautiful though. I love Jill.
man, I remember back when they were doing the verses and we were stuck in the house. I couldn't watch her verses with Erica Badu. It was like I couldn't. Like Erica Badu, man, him go smoke weed together one day behind a building. Jill Scott, if she said something to me, I'm like this.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. So she on there talking all heavily and shit. I'm like, you know what? I ain't even gonna watch this. I'm sitting in the house by myself too. I'm not setting myself up. It's a demic outside. Nah, I ain't
She
doing
said,
it. Uh-uh. I ain't doing it to myself. I will not. I think what's interesting about it though, and the question I've always asked, because you know, a lot of sisters be talking about saying, yeah, see, yeah, but got her man, you can do it, this, that, and the third. Why is it that the woman has to go through a or multiple futures just to decide she want to be with a Russell?
she doesn't have to.
Yes, she does.
Unfor-
Because
Actually,
that's
she
what
does.
because that's what happens.
But
That's
that's the
what
thing.
happens. She shows up the Russell's door with Future's kids.
But that's
And,
the
and,
thing.
and I'm saying this figuratively, but I've seen this scenario play out so many times. And I'm just sitting up here like, oh, cool. This time it's a quarterback and a singer. But I've seen this where it was just two regular ass people. Well, three, including the future guy. But
Well, well,
it always
unfortunately,
happens like that.
unfortunately, it's not common. It's not necessarily always common for a woman to tap into her father, to really learn from him, to just simply learn, what do men think? What is it as a woman that I should know about men? Most women get their advice about men from other women, which sometimes causes them, it's just a disaster from the get-go. I can't knock it because that seems to be what is accessible for so many women. But for me, I know that I'm an oddity. I know that I was able to tap into, God rest his soul, my father. I didn't learn about men from my mother. I learned how to be a wife from my mother. I learned how to bring a level of balance and peace to my home from my mother. But I learned about men from my father. Why? He was a whole entire man. So if there was something that I wanted to know, if there was something that I needed to know, I went to him. And because of that, pitfalls that a lot of women that I grew up with, that I know in my family, whatever, um, there are so many pitfalls that I escaped because I had a playbook. I tapped into my playbook. And there are so many women that have fathers, but they went to them more of a daddy, can you? Daddy, would you? Daddy, I need. Daddy. I mean, even like think about the TV show Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Hillary always went to dad when she wanted something. But you didn't see Hillary and Ashley go to Uncle Phil when they needed advice about a guy. When Ashley was thinking about breaking her virginity, remember the episode? She talked to Hillary. She
Hmm.
didn't go to Will. She didn't go to Carlton. She went to her sister. But now you're getting ready to cross possibly a line with a guy. Why wouldn't you want the male perspective? But even in television shows, this is what they program us to think. I knew enough just to tap into my father and say, well, hold on. I need to know. Am I so learning from him? I didn't I didn't go through a series of futures to get to this. I I honestly limited a lot of heartache because I knew if I do not limit some of the things that I entertain, then by the time it's time for me to step into it, I don't come in my fullness. I don't come in at 100%. I come in with a level of baggage that some men are not going to want to take the time to unpack.
But you
So,
know what? And that's the thing. Like, as a man, you can't say that
what you mean you can't
because
say?
the thing is, it's like, the whole take me as I am thing. But it's like, okay, but a woman could say, well, no, I don't like this about this man or that about the man. If I don't like a woman's body size, I'm fat shaming. You know what I'm saying? Or body shaming, period. Like,
Well,
it's almost like you're not allowed to have that preference.
and you want to know why? It's
I don't know.
because men have allowed that to happen. Step up and say no. Say what you want to say. But as a man, I have a right to say, this is what I want, and end the discussion. See, sometimes with, and I'm not saying with women, but with some people, you give an inch, they will take a mile. The reason why now it has gotten to a place where it seems like if a man talks about his preference, he's shaming, he's this, he's that, it's because for whatever reason it's been allowed. Take your power back. It's the reason why you all as men are supposed to have dominion over the earth. There is a reason why, as a woman, we're supposed to submit to you. Doesn't mean, and people, see, people just think submission means weakness. No, you have to, in order to fully submit, you got to be one of the strongest people to fully submit to the will and the purpose of someone that now you're getting ready to entrust your overall life with.
Mm.
But no, the reason why that is the way it is because men have not stepped back up and say, we'll say, okay, this is ours. We're going to take it back. Stop the foolishness. There is nothing wrong with saying, as a man, I prefer a woman who's fit. Because let's be real, who wants someone that has so many health challenges? We're trying to build a life together. I ain't trying to be in Emory with you every week. I'm just not trying to do it. I want to go on vacation. I want to build businesses. I want to have I want to have little itty bitty kids that look like both of us. I want to live this thing called life. I can't do it if I gotta hear clear because you somewhere unhealthy. We gotta tell the truth. And sometimes, for whatever reason, we are building a generation that is just weak and just passive. The truth hurts, but it only hurts because it is meant to shift. When something hurts, you shift from it. The truth hurts because we need to shift back to a level of reality. There is nothing wrong with people having their preference. There is
Right.
nothing wrong with saying, as a man, I want someone who's fit. And if she's not fit, I have no problem with saying, baby's getting the gym together. But that's the thing. Everything is, oh, you fat shaming. No, you should be ashamed of your fat. Take care of that. Take care of it. Who the heck wants someone unhealthy? No one.
I get that. Let me run through a couple of these comments right quick. So Glenn Bay said, dads and fathers are supposed to give you the wisdom of the streets and dudes. If you what is it, if you would but listen. Yeah.
If,
Got
yeah,
gotta hear it. I hardly know any women. My brother Jihad Youssef is in the building. Oh, Humanity Works. Check out his show on YouTube. Humanity Works. But he spells it hue like color. Like it's cool as shit. Little double entendre type thing. Say, I hardly know any women who didn't get their wisdom about me and from their father. Women typically go to women for wisdom too. Cosign wisdom to cosign bitterness and anger because a heartbreak pain from men.
and typically that heartbreak and pain comes because you didn't go to the right teacher. You didn't go and seek counsel from the right source. If I want to, true story. And when I've shared this with people, people laugh. You want to know who first taught me about the whole bag? My daddy.
You know
My
what? I learned about
my
the whole bag, the whole. I
my
don't even want to get
father.
into. I'm not getting into that story.
My father.
Nope.
My father is the reason why I don't own a colored scarf. So when I tie my hair and pin curl my hair up at night or wrap my hair around, all of my scarves from my bonnet, my scarves,
It's black.
whatever, are all black. Why? Because his thing is, no man want to wake up and see all that mess. Do this, do this, do that. Now, my mother also, in all her business that she has, she's also a seamstress. She makes so many different things for us, head coverings, whatever. But when it comes to something as simple as what kind of scarf do I buy when I go to the beauty supply store to tie my hair up at night, it's all black. Why? Where did I learn that from? My father.
I don't. Maybe it was because you was from Chicago and stayed on the other side of the neighborhood.
I guess, but that's where I learned it from. My father was the one when I had my first, I'll say real boyfriend. I'll say adult relationship. And the first time, because we always had a family building, and the first time I didn't come home. I spent the night at his house. I just
You
knew when
decided
I
that
came.
being
I,
grown.
I just knew when I came home, I was, oh my gosh, I gotta do the walk of shame around my
Hmm.
daddy. Ugh. I came in, he goes, come here. Cause see, we had a family building, but I always accessed my parents' place, went in, got some food, and then I went upstairs to mine. So I went in, he goes, come here, have a seat. And I'm just like, okay, good grief. He's getting ready to tear me a new one. You out fornicating. Well, I didn't raise you that way. No. He
Mm.
sat me down and said, those are the same clothes you left out with yesterday. I said, well, yeah. I said, well, yeah, we were hanging out and I just spent the night over there. He says, if this is a guy you are considering building a life with, which I hope not, because he did kind of suck. He goes, but if this is a guy that you are trying to be serious with, he goes, as a man, I could wear the same t-shirt 2 days in a row. Who cares? But that's not what we want in our women. So if you know you're going to be out, pack a bag, get up, take a shower, get yourself together. Things, I don't even care if he's funky. But you as a woman, we have a standard for our women. So when you get up, get yourself together, brush your teeth, get cleaned up, and then you make your way back home. But his thing is, you do not put on the same nasty clothes that you just took off to come. No, his thing's absolutely not. And especially if there's a good chance that you took a shower the night before you laid down, you're putting nasty clean on a clean body.
Unclean
This
blood. Right.
came from my father.
Yeah.
That didn't come from me hollering at a home girl. That came from my father. So because he was giving me things that made sense, I kept tapping into him. I tapped into my daddy's energy probably up until a month and a half before he left. but before he
Mm,
transitioned. But no,
right.
I tapped into because why he's a man. I didn't learn about men through my mother. They were married 55 years at the time of my father's passing. So that's what she knew was my dad. But my dad always knew men because
He
he
been
was a
he been a
man.
man. Yeah.
He's been a man and he was an alpha man. So yeah, that's where I learned things from. But so many women, unfortunately, don't tap into them because either they don't have access to their fathers, they have not created that connection with them, aside from gimme, 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 which is what they transfer into their relationships, gimme, 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 and not let's build. And that's why you see so many go through so many futures before they get to a Russ. If they get to a Russ.
Before they get to a damn rest. It's crazy, but and I think about this, and this probably my last point before we tie a bow on this for the night. But I've never been a dad of a daughter, so I don't know what that's like. But how many dads on that side of the fence? How many dads are gonna have those uncomfortable conversations? Like my daughter's always supposed to be like yay tall, with a big ass flowery dress on and little joints in her hair, and she got bows on her shoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you go from that to this grown woman asking you about what men are like? And it's like men say their Easter speeches, which is what you can go practice for and put on that big ass dress. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many dads are gonna have that uncomfortable conversation or are willing to? You
Well,
know what I'm
here's
saying? Or are
well,
they gonna pass them off to mom?
here's the thing that separates a father from a daddy. Because at some point, cut the shit. This is your daughter. And your daughter needs to be able to, her first love should be you. When she looks for a man, she search for you. If she saw daddy provide, daddy took care of mama, daddy did right by me, you are her first level of self-esteem. You are the first one to ever call her beautiful. Cut the crap. Talk to her about talk talk to her about love, about life, because other than that, she's going to search for it in the wrong way.
And
And
seek it out.
that falls on you. That's just like I have two god well, I have three godsons and a goddaughter. My goddaughter honestly found the person she was supposed to spend the rest of her life with at the age of, she was 16, he was 15. They just got married last week. Love that kid. He is a
And let you
fantastic,
get married that young?
well shoot, my goddaughter was 27. so
Oh, so
so
they're not 15 and 16 no more.
no, 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 no. They've been together for a minute. They've been together for a
Oh,
minute. Have a
okay.
beautiful
So they
little,
had time to grow up in between, I
absolutely.
guess.
They had got a beautiful little girl, but with her, she didn't go through a lot of the heartache because I do know she spent a lot of time as a little girl around her father, who was one of my best friends, God rest his soul as well, and my father. That was Pawpaw for her. So with her, she happened just to find, they found each other, and they're just such a wonderful young couple. But as the godmother of three godsons, do you think I'm going to sit back and watch them bump their heads? No. Your first true access to a woman, aside from your mother's, comes is your godmother. That is my job. That is my job, to educate you on what this thing should look like. You need a partner. You don't need a liability. You need an asset. This is what she should bring to the table. And just in case you don't bring this, now I'm going to prepare you because you're my godson. I'm going to put you in the kitchen and let you see that this is a gym. This is not just a woman's job, but I'm going to prepare you just in case you don't do this until you're 40, until you're 50, because the pickings might be slim.
It
I'm
can't
going to
get
prepare you for survival.
that bad.
But no, I'm going to help you set a standard by living a certain way. You should look for you should look for me, or you should look for your mom when it comes time to dating.
Right. I
And if I
got
and
oh, keep going.
yeah,
Oh no, no, I got just shout out some of my folks in the chat. My brother Jahad Yusef said women who have had great relationships with their fathers are the best women.
Thank
Uh,
you, sir.
my nephew Spud King just laughed. Ain't no telling what you done said. Ain't no telling what you said, man, Parker.
Oh,
We got Miss Richard in the building. What's happening with you, shouting?
hi, Miss Richard.
The alpha male is overrated. I think I myself have evolved into the sigma male, and I'm cool with that.
Well, I won't say that the alpha male is overrated, but they're definitely
I
they're
think
they're
I think they're
they're def
growing extinct.
huh?
I think they're growing extinct.
I don't believe that they're going instinct because I mean they're alpha. You can't kill them. But I truly believe that there are
I just
so many.
I think them and their mentality dies off though. Like you can't make another one. You can't make that.
To me, okay, it's all environmental. Like it's all environmental. It's how you it's how you were raised. It's truly how you were raised. I can never say that the alpha man is overrated because my father was an alpha man. And that's what I need in order to fully submit. I dated beta. I dated Charlie, Delta, Echo, whatever. but for me,
Not
no.
the, not, we're not going through the military alphabet.
Let's be real.
Oh
But
god damn.
no, I can't, you know.
Hi, man, Parker.
Hey girl.
Uh, I got Miss Griggs in the building. Well, then it's a loss. What part's a loss?
Yeah, I'm
I'm not.
confused.
I'm not sure when you jumped in on that. So, what part did you lose? That was a loss. Big shouts out to Tina. Yo, Tina, we gonna figure out your shirt size. Get your
I'm
freak show
loving Miss
shirt,
Tina.
bro.
I promise you I am.
Absolutely. Like,
Tina
yo, that dope
Tina's
mess.
like a gem. I'm loving her.
Yeah, like she's like an oracle of sorts. It's like, yo, fact check this
Yes.
for me. She know
Yeah.
Bobby Brown middle name is goddamn Barlow or whatever she said.
It's weird, right?
Right, right. It's like, yo, how y'all some country niggas from Boston? With that Mississippi ass name. Go figure. Go figure. Miss Park,
Man.
you want to leave these folks with some final thoughts
I mean, final thoughts for tonight.
for tonight?
I think if we're going to talk about, well, you know what, let's wrap it up by, because we never want to just tear into a subject or a celebrity couple, whatever, without kind of cleaning it up a bit. Because at the end of the day, there's still people. At the end of the day, feelings. You never want feelings hurt. Let's just say this: I really wish for Sierra and young women like Sierra, find you a big mama. If you don't have one, go find you one. Go to your go to your neighborhood church. They are the people with the big old hats and the butterscotch in the bottom of their purse.
Uh,
Go find you a big mama. Sit at her feet. Talk to her. Now you got to ask her a couple of questions. Ask her how long she was married to Jesse Willie, because that's gonna be his name. His name ain't gonna be Bart. It's gonna be like Jesse Willie, Willie Lewis. It's gonna be one of them deep home Southern
Right.
names.
Robert Earl.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
go sit at Big Mama's feet. Talk to her. Pick her brain. Go to her house. Snap peas. Go old school. So much wisdom is our in our golden women.
But here's the thing. I
Learn.
don't even think that big mamas exist anymore. Like I think that
They
generation
exist.
I think
They
that
ex-
generation's died out.
no, they exist. You have to find them. Cause guess
But that's what I'm saying.
my
Big
mother.
mama's like 40 now.
No, there are still some that will sit. Why do you think so many people, and we just lost her too, God rest her soul? Why do you think so many folks love Grandma Holla? The little lady, the little older lady who was real spunky, because even if she said something that was a bit unorthodox, she gave you the real. That's what we need. Our young women need to stop going to women who of their age and go sit down and talk to Big Mama. Snap some peas. Find out. Stop prejudging them. You hear so many young women say, well, please, I ain't gonna do what grandma did because grandpa was cheating. That ain't your business. and you only know one part because
And that's
the
the
you
thing.
honest,
Like when you look at stuff like that, it's like you obviously missed the point of this whole
yeah.
thing. If that's all
'Cause
you got from it.
at the same time, you don't trust me. If you think that Grandpa kept that going on, then you a fool because Big Mama didn't have to stay there with that. But you missed the point of it. Back in the day, if a relationship was broken, they fixed it. They didn't abandon ship. They fixed what was broken. And we in this generation, we don't value marriage. We value the wedding, the big white dress, the hoo-ha, but we don't value the relationship.
The union.
We don't value the union. We're not putting
Mhm.
God in the center of it. So for my young women, find you a big mama. Talk to her. Ask her what it is to be a wife. There are a whole bunch of women who are married, but they're not wives.
Mhm.
And there are a whole bunch of men who are married, but they aren't husbands. Go find go find Paw in the field. Go find him. He might be sitting back in his own moonshine. Go sit at his feet. We need to go back to the basis. To the basics. Go back. Find your and you can find them. Go to your neighborhood church. They are there. And they have been through it. And they have prayed their way through it. But
Mhm.
they are just vessels of knowledge. Tap into them and find out what this thing called being a wife looks like. Because I guarantee you one thing that the first thing they're going to tell you is get off Facebook, keep your business to yourself, get your house in order. And this is just what we need to do. So if my last words for tonight, let's go back to the basics. We have untapped vessels that we have not, and they're right here. They're still here. Tap into them. We won't have them forever. Listen to them. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand. Learn from them. Learn from them and grow. The overall goal is to be a better person than you were yesterday.
All
So,
day.
yeah. So, in saying that, Sierra, go find you a big mama. And if you don't have one, find me and I'll get you in touch with my mama because my mother is very much a big mama.
I about to say that
Very much
part
so.
skinny old enough to be a big mama.
My mother is definitely 55 years in the game. What? 55 as a wife? 55 years. I had to
Half a century and some change. Yeah, she a OG with it.
I had to literally after my daddy passed away, I had to walk my mother through getting her first oil change. It was the funniest thing. She's like, how do I do this? Where do I go? She had no clue because why? She never had to do it. And oh my gosh, when she needed tires, I said, Mama, should I fly home? No, no, just tell me what to do. I had to walk her through getting her a first set of tires post my father's passing. There were
Mm.
just certain things she didn't have to do. But it's also to the same man that didn't know his shirt size either. Why? There were certain things that he didn't have to know because he had a wife. She was a wife, he was a husband. So in all that to say, let's go back to the basics, you all. We have big mamas and pawpaws around us. Let's tap into them. Get you a mentor, get you someone that you can learn from, and then shut your mouth and listen.
And it's what you saying that though. And could it ever be that how you say that symbiotic ever again?
If we make it, if we make it. See, we're so quick to say what has changed. We're so quick to say we don't have that anymore. Why not? They're still here. We still have the capability of just shifting, bringing things back. We see what we're doing right now in today's society is not working. That is just the definition of insanity. We continue to do the same thing, hoping for a different outcome.
I
This is
think
not working.
I think at our generation we see that it's not working. I don't think everybody knows that they're messing up. A lot of times you don't know you mess it up until you step back and look at it and be like, oh, I'm really messing up.
When you are 20, here's my thing. When you a young woman, and because even my cousin put a post on social media recently that said, "Is Are we living in the day where it's make what did she say? Make the babies, but not marry the ladies. And I literally came on her post with an emoji eating popcorn, like, I'm just here for the comments. I want to hear because again, I try my best to tread lightly because when I say it, oh, you're being judgmental. But with her being a biological mother, and I know with her, she had her children first, and then they got married later. But she did, she did marry the father of her children. But we're just looking around, and so many of our beautiful daughters are becoming mothers, but they're not becoming wives. Why? And then unfortunately, you have so many of our beautiful daughters who can't tell you if they've ever seen a successful marriage. So they're getting what they see. Parenthood is beautiful. I love babies. I think children are beautiful, but this is what they're tapping into. But what about the family unit? And again, most folks want the wedding, the big old pretty dress, the 500 plus guest list, the chicken and the salmon. They want that.
Wait a minute.
What?
Oh, whoa. Go back. Chicken and
Both.
salmon? Wait a
They
minute.
want
And you
both.
can get them on the same plate?
Same plate, dog. They want
Yeah,
both.
yo. DJ Agne's getting married next week, y'all.
They
'Cause
want
I
both.
want chicken and salmon.
But at the same time, they're not tapping into marriage. They don't see the value. They don't see the benefit.
What's not to like about chicken and salmon? I mean, speaking from a fat boy, you know what I'm saying? That's
But
real though.
yeah, but like I said, we need to shift. We need to shift. We need to get back. We need to get back to what works. And what works is having, like we said last week, we having that emotional energy and that logical energy in the same house, watching it be a unit, watching it work through difficulty. You don't throw in the towel. You pick up the towel, wipe your face off, and you keep going.
I'm gonna be honest, it's not that cut and dry, particularly with this breed that we're dealing with. It's like because the emotional energy, you don't know whether it's coming from him or her.
That's a DJ Agony. That's a whole nother Thursday.
A whole nother
A
planning period.
whole
Because
planning
because
period.
because we about 30 minutes late for class now.
I mean, that's a whole nother planning period.
That's a
Seriously.
whole other planning period. So serious. I appreciate you coming out here, kicking it once again on the Dope Show, on the planning period. Tell these folks how they can follow you. Tell them about your new situation.
How you can follow me. And I actually got a couple of followers. I said, okay, I'll accept them. So I am definitely on Instagram, first last name, Stephanie D. Parker. You'll see this face. And you can just go ahead, you send a message and just says, hey, I'm following you because I definitely subscribe. Please make sure that you like and subscribe to the Dope Show. That is so important. So it's not just about just following me. Let's go ahead and support DJ Agony because this is very much his platform and this is it's going to blow. It's going to blow up and we know it's going to do great things. It already is. But you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. My Instagram name is ESDION Enterprises or SDION Enterprises. You can find me on Instagram. Send me a message. I'll go ahead and accept and we'll follow back. Something else too that is in the works is called Bringing Back the Dinner Table. Why? Because it's so important to get back to the basics. How many times were parents able to look into the eyes of their children and find out what was going on with them? How many times did you see that intimate relationship between mom and dad or family time, how you just shared, you supped, you discussed your day? Many things happen at the dinner table and we need to kind of get back to that because now we just become a generation where mom goes to her room, kids go to their room, and they might meet somewhere in the middle for pie. Let's go ahead and get back to rebuilding the family because we have a lot of work to do to unpack things that have been spoken over us, and we just have a lot of work to do for our culture. And there's nothing more important to me than to educate our youth, but to rebuild our culture. We owe it to us, we owe it to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Once again, I appreciate you for definitely coming through and sharing this side of the screen with me. Like I said, Miss Parker is the first person in 2 years to ever make back to back weekly appearances on the Dope Show. There's usually a week in between most of my guests.
I
Well,
love it.
a couple of weeks, or I have to be like, let me space them out, get them once a month. No, 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 no. She was here last week. She here this week. She won't be here next week, but the only reason why is because I won't even be here next week. I got some
Oh,
yeah, I got some retooling to do next week. I'm gonna put some things in order and you know what I'm saying, get ready for the next part of it. You know what I'm saying? So I won't be here next week. However, you can find me at Dope Enterprise on Facebook, Dope Enterprise on YouTube, Dope Dot Enterprise on Instagram. Make sure you like, comment, but most importantly, when you see this post, share this post, share the lives. Like that's what I'm saying. To grow shows like this, we need you, and not only you, but we need the people you know too, and the people they know. It's a
yeah,
word of mouth thing. So tell your people to tell their people to tell their peoples. So hit that share button, let people know that yo, I found something good, and we having a good time with it. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate everybody who came through the chat. Appreciate you, Tina. Tina, you are
Tina.
Tina, you are now adopted. You belong to the Dope Show. We're gonna fire your boss one day. It won't be today. Don't go there and cut up tomorrow. It's tomorrow's Friday. Don't do that.
Right.
But eventually, the Dope Show's gonna fire your boss for you. Big shouts out to my brother Glenn Bay. I hadn't seen her from that brother in a long time. Jihad Yousef's in the building. My brother Miss Richard. I mean, not Miss Richard. She's not my brother. My brother Jihad Yousef. Miss Richard was in the building. Hello, Tina. Ah, who else came through? My nephew Spud King was in the building. You know what I'm saying? So
Laughing.
yeah, having a good time. Whoever this widow is on YouTube, hey, what's up? I guess. I don't know who that is. I'm not even gonna post that shit either. K Duplessis, yo, appreciate you for coming through. Uh, Bobby Barish Furrow Brown, appreciate you for all the years of entertainment with your weird ass middle name.
That's his name.
And I'm gonna end this show like I end all the others. Imitation is a sincere form of flattery that mediocrity to pay to greatness. I am DJ Agony. That is Miss Parker.
That's me.
R.I.P. Biggie. And we out. Peace.
Good night.